Hello students, greetings of the day. So today we are going to discuss about the chapter computer. So since you are entering 6th standard, we are going to discuss only basics of computer. Okay. So have you all seen computer? I think you are seen, right? At your home, your parents are using computer, right? Yes. So what do you mean by computer? So computer is a machine. Okay. So computer may be in the form of laptop, tablet, and in the form of mobile phones, right? So what is the basic thing among these computer, that is desktop computer, laptop computer, and tablets and mobile phones? Everything is work based on the electricity. So they are known as electronic machine. Even fridge, washing machine, and that is mixie grinder, everything is made of electricity. So everything will run with the help of electricity. And so computer are also run with the help of electricity. So they are known as electronic machine. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the computer history, growth, and their development and their generations and types. Okay. So come, let us discuss about computer. So what is a computer? Computer is an electronic machine, and it can also use it to store, find, and arrange information. Since computer has a memory, we can store and retrieve data. So and also we can calculate amounts and control information with the help of computer. Okay. So the next one, mobile phones compared with computer. So everyone is using mobile phones, right? You are fighting with your parents for watching the videos and playing games, right? So how the mobile phones vary from computer? Yes, they only the size and speed. So your mobile phones are very small when compared with computer. Since they are very small, we can easily carry from one place to another place. But computer, it is look like a big TV and it has a box attached to it, and we cannot able to carry this computer easily from one place to another place. Okay, but their speed also differ from each other, but their operations are same, that is their calculations and operations are same. Okay, so who discovered first computer? Have anyone known? Yes, Charles Babbage, who was the father of computer. He was the professor in all mathematics, and he was the first one to design an analog computer. So Charles Babbage was a professor in mathematics, and he was known as the father of computer, and he discovered the first analog computer. So next one, abacus. So have you seen abacus? Abacus kit? Yes, right. For abacus class, you are using abacus kit, right? So for what they are using abacus kit? For what you are using this abacus kit? For doing calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So for that, we are using abacus kit. So abacus kit are used for doing calculations. So initially people use a tool for, that is abacus kit, for doing calculations. Later on scientists have discovered calculator for calculations. So nowadays we are using calculators for doing calculations, right? Okay. So for doing each and every operations, we need a command. So who discovered the first command? Augusta Ada Lovelace was the first programmer. She developed commands for doing mathematical operations. So see here, she was a first programmer. She developed essential commands for the mathematical operations. Okay. So next, generations of computer. So generations of computer. There are 5 generations of computer. So first generation the duration starts from 1940 to 1956. So what is the internal component? Vacuum tubes. Okay, vacuum tube is internal component that they had used at that time. And what is the size of computer? It is very large. Even it is in the size of our room. So storage device is magnetic tape, and the programming language is machine language. And the computers at the time are ENIAC, UNIVAC, and IBM. Okay, so the first generation internal component is vacuum tube. Okay, so the next generation, it starts from 1956 to 1964. The internal component is transistor. So what is internal component of the second generation? Transistor. And the size of the computer is very small, that is smaller than the first generation. Not very small, it is smaller than the first generation. And the storage device is as same as the first generation. Okay. And the programming language is assembly language. And the famous computers at the time are IBM 400, IBM 1600, UNIVAC 3. Okay, so the internal component is transistor. So let us move for the third generation. It starts from 1964 and it ends in 1971. The internal component is IC, that is integrated circuit, and the size which is smaller when compared with first generation and second generation. So the storage devices is magnetic tape, as similar as the first generation and second generation. The programming language is high level languages such as Pascal and Basic. That is, and famous computer are IBM 360, IBM 370, UNIVAC 9000, etc. Okay, so the internal component is the main thing behind these generations. The third generation, they had used IC. Okay, the fourth generation starts in 1971 and it ends in 1981. The internal component is a microprocessor, and the size of the computer is microcomputer. So it is very small and compared with first and second and third generation. Okay, and the storage devices is hard disk and floppy disk. What is the storage device? Hard disk and floppy disk. And the programming language is very high level languages like such as C and C++. Okay, and the famous computer are IBM 3033, IBM System 336 and Crayon 1. So what is the internal component of the fourth generation? Microprocessor. Okay, so fifth generation, it starts 1981 until we are under this fifth generation. So internal component is artificial intelligence. So nowadays we are using artificial intelligence, and size of the computer is very small, that is tiny computers. So mobile phones, tablet, laptop. So these are the examples for fifth generations of computer. And their storage devices hard disk, floppy disk, and optical storage. Okay, the programming language is natural language like SQL, Prolog, etc. So the famous computer at that time that is nowadays is laptop and palm top. Okay, so have you all clear about the 5 generations of computer? Okay, so let us move for elements of computer. So what are the common elements? That is, important element is data and information. So data and information are the two important elements in our computer. So what is my data? Data is the information that has to be processed. So data is the information that has to be processed. They are in the form of numbers, alphabets, and images. So how we are giving data to the computer? In the form of numbers, alphabets, and images. Okay, so next one, information. So what is information? Information is a form of processed data. Information is a form of processed data. Okay, so data is the information that has to be processed, and information is a form of processed data. Okay, so what is my CPU? CPU is known as the central processing unit. CPU is the central processing unit. So it is also known as the heart of the computer. Okay. So the next topic is what is by hardware and software. So what is by hardware? Hardware. The parts available in the computer that helps the software to work is a hardware. That is, the parts which are available in the computer that helps the software to work is a hardware. The two important devices in hardware. What are the input device and output device? So what is by input device? Information that is sent to a computer through a device called input device. Information sent to a computer through a device called input device. So for example, keyboard, mouse, etc. So with the help of keyboard and mouse, we are giving information to that is we are entering the data to the computer. So next one, output device. The information which is sent to the computer are processed and displayed through a device. So for example, printer, monitor, etc. That is the information that is sent to the computer are processed and displayed through a device called output device. So for example, printer and monitor. So after successful information entry, the information will be displayed through monitor, or we can take printout. So they are all the output device. So what is the hardware? With the parts which are available in the computer that helps the software to work is a hardware. Two types of devices, one is input device and output device. So input which are given to the computer or input device, that is or inputs, that is with the help of keyboard and mouse. And output device, the information that is sent to the computer processed and displayed through a device called output device. For example, printer and monitor. Okay. So next one, software. What is my software? The commands or programs that are used in a computer are called software. What is that? The commands and programs that are used in the computer are called software. There are two types of hardware. So there's two types of software. What are they? Operating software and system software. What are the two types of software? Operating software and system software. What is my operating software? Software that is used to operate the computer. Software that is used to operate the computer. So that is called operating software. What are my systems or application software? System software or application software means that is a software that is used to run a particular program. They are used to run a particular program. So they are called system software. Okay. So that's all. Since you are entering 6th standard, you have only basics. So what are the topics we have discussed so far? What is computer? Computer is an electronic machine and it has a memory to store and retrieve data. And what is mobile phones and how the mobile phones are compared with computer? Mobile phones are so small when compared with computer, but their operations are similar, but their speed may vary. Next one, who invented a computer? Charles Babbage, a professor in mathematics, and he is known as the father of computer. He only designed an first analog computer. Next one, abacus. Abacus is a tool used for doing calculations. Okay, and the first programmer to develop commands are Augusta Lovelace. Next one, the 5 generations of computer. In that, the internal component is the main theme. So first generations of computer used vacuum tubes, and the second generation used transistors, and at the third generation they used integrated circuits, and at the fourth generation microprocessor. The fifth generation artificial intelligence. So these are the 5 generations and their comparison. What are the 2 important elements of computer? Data and information. Data is the information that has to be processed. So it is in the form of numbers, alphabets and images. So the next one, information. Information is a processed data. Next one, what is the hardware and software? So hardware, that is the parts available in the computer are hardware. That is 2 types of devices comes under the hardware. It is input device and output device. So example for input device, keyboard, mouse, and output device, printer, monitor. So next one, software. That is commands or programs that are used in computer are software. So 2 types of software, operating software and system software. So let us conclude our lesson. That is, computer is an important part that play a major role in our day-to-day life activities in our scientific world, and it may be vary in the form of desktop computer, laptop, tablets and mobile phones. So even though the size vary, the operations are same. Okay. So have you all understood the today's topic? Okay. So let us wind up our session by watching a video. Thank you all.
Today, computers are all around us. From desktop computers to smartphones, they are changing the way that we live our lives. But have you ever asked yourself, what exactly is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. The computer sees data as ones and zeros, but it knows how to combine them into more complex things, such as a photograph, a movie, a website, a game, and much more. Computers use a combination of hardware and software. Hardware is any physical part of the computer, which includes all of the internal components and also the external parts like the monitor and the keyboard. Software is any set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do, such as a web browser, media player, or word processor. Now, when most people say computer, they're talking about a personal computer. This can be a desktop computer or a laptop computer, which has basically the same capabilities, but in a more portable package. Personal computers come in two main styles, PC and Mac. PCs are the most common type. There are many different companies that make them, and they usually come with the Microsoft Windows operating system. Macs, or Macintosh computers, are all made by one company, Apple, and they come with the Mac OS X operating system. Computers come in many other shapes and sizes. Mobile phones, tablets, game consoles, and even TVs have built-in computers, although they may not do everything a desktop or a laptop can. There's another type of computer that plays an important role in our lives: servers. A server serves information to other computers on a network. In fact, every time you use the internet, web servers deliver the web pages that you want to see to your computer. Servers are also used in many offices to store and share files. As you can see, there are many different types of computers out there, and they affect our lives in a variety of ways.
Hello, in this video we are going to learn about various generations of computers. Basically, the term generation refers to how hardware and software has evolved over time. Between 1945 to 1956, we had the first generation of computers which used thousands of vacuum tubes. As a result, they consumed a lot of power and generated large amount of heat. They were large in size and very expensive too. Machine language was used to program it using punch cards and paper tapes. They were the fastest calculating device of their times and could do 5,000 additions or 350 multiplications in 1 second. Examples include ENIAC, EDVAC, and UNIVAC 1. The second generation of computers came between the years 1956 to 1963 when transistors replaced the vacuum tubes. This made the computers smaller, faster, cheaper, and more reliable. They were more energy efficient, though they still generated a lot of heat. They were also the first computers to use magnetic core technology to store instructions in memory. They used machine and assembly language to program. Examples include IBM 7090 and CDC 3600. The third generation of computers was between 1964 to 1971 when integrated circuits or ICs replaced the transistors. This made the computer smaller, faster, cheaper than earlier computers. They were accessed through keyboard, monitor, and even had an operating system to enable it to run different applications at the same time. They were now made available to larger number of people as they were smaller and cheaper. Examples include IBM 360 and PDP-11. The fourth generation of computers started from year 1971 with the advent of microprocessors which used VLSI or very large scale integration technology to have thousands of IC on a single silicon chip. This made the computers small and portable. They were cheap and could work at high speed with a lot more accuracy and reliability. They had larger memory, so led to explosion in development of GUI software, application softwares, and handheld devices. Examples include all the computers you see around you today. The future is the fifth generation computers, which will be based upon artificial intelligence and are still in very nascent stage. They will use ULSI or ultra large scale integration technology, making it even more faster, cheaper, and self-reliant. Combined with quantum and nanotechnology, the next generation computers are going to be the intelligent computers.